Well, hello, this is Cujo, and this is Transmeet TV.
Truth be told, the only reason you're still conscious is because this approach saves us time.
My name is Bjørn. Most people know me as Cujo. I've been involved with the trance scene for like 15 years almost, since I was 12 years old. I've been... My career started going faster and faster a couple of years ago, so I started to travel a lot. So here I am in Croatia now. All the 15 years I've been doing a project called Furious One, but we also did some other projects called Tenka and Handbook and Funk Minimal and some other projects that had a few releases. We both released on Green Crop and some other really nice labels. It was a really big problem around 2001 when all the record sales started to go low. So all the labels started to close and the scene changed and stuff. So if I had been a few years older and had been releasing a couple of years before that, then maybe things would have been different. But it's coming back now.
Okay, let's get back to the Furious One. You had two albums, one on Xenon, one on Headstick.
Yeah.
What's next?
After the two releases on Xenon and Headstick, I have been working a lot on other kinds of music than just trance. It's been quite interesting because I gained a lot of inspiration. First I thought maybe I should stop doing trance and then do other kinds of electronic music, but then when you do other kinds of electronic music, you tend to get your inspiration back, because I think I lost my inspiration because I didn't play with the sounds enough. But then I played with the sounds when doing electronica and stuff, so I suddenly got the interest back into trance. And then I produced really a lot of tracks, and now we made a deal with the Xenon Records to produce a double CD album, which is coming out here in the beginning of 2009. And it's going to be nice because it contains a lot of tracks and a lot of ideas, or basically all the ideas I had since since the Art of Mindfucking album on Headstick Records.
Yeah, I'm confused. Why?
There's never been a problem releasing anything, and there's never been a problem with Xenon Records. But Xenon Records stands for a very specific kind of style, and I think for a period when I was producing for Headstick Records, I did some very technical, techno-ish, very electronic, very dark tech trance kind of style, very very techno-like kind of music. It became very digital as well, a little faster as well. So it was definitely not the Xenon style anymore.
So we can expect on the third album the Xenon style sound, or you change it?
Oh, the new album is definitely more the Xenon style. It is like a mix between the first album on Xenon and the Headstick album, because it's not as slow and it's not as minimal as the first one on Xenon, but it's definitely slower than the Art of Mindfucking on Headstick, but just as detailed as the Art of Mindfucking. So it's a lot of glitchy stuff and a lot of beats that changes all the time and stuff. And actually, it's still trance music, but it's very detailed and groovy. So there's a lot of work into it, and I stopped sitting down and produce music thinking about how will the dance floor react and how does this sound as compared to other trance people. I started to not really care actually. I just do the stuff now.
One of the first tracks.
Yeah, but this is actually my first ever release in 2001. It's actually my first ever release. I got signed on this label in the year 2000, and we decided to do some 12 inches and stuff. But this was the first track to actually come out, and then there was one 12-inch, but unfortunately they went broke and everything went down, and the entire scene went corrupt, more or less. So back then was really fun. But then it was a lot. After that, it was a lot of hard work, and it felt like that all the hard work you put in before was suddenly a complete waste, because now you suddenly had to build up a new career again after 2001. But it was fun back then.
Yeah, okay. So let's get ourselves back. I remember this first track, and I followed your work, and it was like the album will be released and stuff. What happened with it?
In 2001 with Leviathan Records, with that track and all that, they were supposed to release my first album, called The Twisted Fairy Tales. It was back then. I think it sounded pretty good. If you hear it today, I think you'll hear that it's very old school, and not so well produced. But a label called Novatech, they bought Leviathan, and they planned to release it, but Novatech also went broke, and things got really ugly because a lot of people started lying, because a lot of people wouldn't confess that they actually owed money. So
what happened with those tracks? Are they lost? Did you release them somewhere?
All the tracks from the first album, I still have them at home on a DAT tape, but they were never released. One of the tracks was released on the last Pulse compilation from Novatech. but
14.
yeah, I think it was number 12 actually. Maybe there was some after that, but it was one of the last ones they did. That's the only track from the album that was ever
You
out.
plan to release free web release or something?
Maybe I could do it as a free web release, but I once thought of that if I actually one day get some money and could afford to put out stuff, just print a few copies for myself. Actually, I would do it because I still have the artwork, and the artwork was really nice. And actually, it's the guy who does Zen Mechanics from Iboga Records now who did the artwork, and it was there was a lot of cool things about that album that it was such a shame that it never came out, and it took me years to release another album actually.
What about today's trance scene? Is it more intelligent, is it more open-minded, or it went corrupt?
It's very different from where you go, because in some countries the trance scene is very new, like maybe not here in Croatia, but in other Eastern Europe countries the trance scene is very new, so they experienced what Denmark experienced 20 years ago. The trance scene is changing a lot, because some people want to hear full on, some people want to hear dark side, some people want to hear minimal and progressive. It's really changing. Back when we started, there was only one thing, that was minimal and Goa, and minimal was a part of Goa, so there was really only one way to go. And now there's so many styles, which is cool, but that makes people choose their style more. So it's harder, and the scene has gone more. It's gone more into small little groups. Instead of being one big group, it's like 10 small groups now. So it's really hard to throw a party where everybody's satisfied.
In the end, you quit up drinking.
Oh, I never quit up. I didn't. So watch out what I'm saying. I am not gonna quit drinking for now. I have a lot of fun at parties, and I can still drink and have fun and still play live and still concentrate. But it means now that I have to concentrate even more, which is also a good reason to drink less before I play. So my alcohol abuse has gotten much smaller now.